Hola, ¿qué pasa, chicos? My name is Diego. This is D-Spot, and today with a very special episode, guys. I'm sitting next to nobody else but Graham Hunter. You know him, of course, from his work with Sky Sports, ESPN, I should say, UEFA as well, or from the big interview, or just the guy that makes sunglasses look just really, really cool. I'm sitting here next to Graham, and he's been gracious enough to give me a lot of his time.
Stop. Let me interrupt you, guys. You're watching us on YouTube Live. The fact is, we're sitting here in my front garden because I'm a D-Spot fan. We're on the D-Spot channel. But watching Diego for TYT or SB Nation, I was like, I've got to find this guy. He's in Barcelona. I've got to find this guy. I've got to share some football time with this guy. We're here on his channel because of me, because I want to talk to him, and you if you'll listen. So listen, legend, this is a dream come true for me. Now tell me about football.
I'm humbled by your words, Graham. Well, to tell you about football, of course, as although you guys know, this is a Barça channel, so we like to talk about Barça on this channel.
Okay.
And no better time to be a Barça fan, perhaps, than now. The big surprise of the season, everything was supposed to be shambles for Barça and glory for Real Madrid, but tables seem to have been switching.
It was shambles. I mean, let's not use the fact that they're playing good football and they're 7 points clear as we speak to paint a false picture. The board and the football department made fools of themselves in the summer.
Yes.
To be unaware of what was happening with Neymar, particularly when not far from here recently, I interviewed Jared Piqué. My question to him was, in retrospect, now that Neymar's gone to Paris Saint-Germain, do you feel that last October when they were renegotiating the contract with Neymar, it was naive to set, and I did this, I don't care if you like it, you don't, I did do this, set the buyout clause so low as 222 million, because 222 million is an obscene amount of money for anything.
Anything, yep.
Even a beautiful boat like is getting fixed in the background to us. And in days gone by, you know, I was aware of football and involved in, you know, my fledgling training to think about working in football when the first £1 million player, Trevor Francis, went from Birmingham to Nottingham Forest, and at that stage people were apoplectic. Now 222 million in euros is a sum that, okay, I accept, was hard to conceive of. And I said, listen, did they set it too low? And Piqué said, look, when they were negotiating, the player has a say in what the buyout clause is, because if you accept lower wages, if you say, okay, I'll take your buyout clause of what Madrid are setting right now, I think shrewdly, the most recent case is Benzema. Now, who's going to pay $1 billion for Benzema to buy him out? No. Even Isco, as brilliant as he is, who's going to pay 700 million? That's the new clause for Isco. So they're using a business model which is clever. But Piqué pointed out, Neymar would have got much more wages if he'd taken a buyout clause of $1 billion. But he said no.
Interesting.
On the day when Neymar says face-to-face, President, I don't want your new wage deal. I don't want extra wages. I'll give you, I think the buyout clause went up maybe 5 million, which in terms of will you pay 118 or 222, right, it's the same.
Yeah.
So in that instant, when the door closed and Neymar walked out with a new contract with a marginally ascending buyout clause but not massively new wages, they go, he's going. And they didn't. The buying needs by many people to be reviewed, but when you're allegedly all out for Verratti and then you buy Paulinho, what it means is you're saying, shopkeeper, I'd like some chalk, please. Chalk. We don't have any chalk, sir. Okay, give me cheese. Because they are chalk and cheese. Yeah. And you won't make a great deal on your blackboard with Goda. Yeah. So all I'm saying is there are a number more reasons to say that the build-up to this season, including the way in which they lost both Super Cup games, said problems. Yeah. Now, not all of that has been manifest on the pitch. More, they're pressing and chasing and working in a manner which we haven't seen for many years. Yeah. And finally, the signings, particularly Semedo, to some extent Deulofeu, and initially Paulinho for what he does. Nobody is going to say that he's the heightened power that he brings, which was Pep Guardiola was not, you know, the most Cruyffista of players, was not immune to height and power.
Yeah, yeah.
When Johan Cruyff came here, the first thing he bought was Basques to build the dream team, because he said, I want people with gara, I want people who fight, I want people who win the jump in the air. So there was if you pardon my expression, it's a French word, there was a lot of shit spoken this summer by people who don't know any better.
Yeah, yeah.
But Paulinho is not Xavi, he's not Verratti.
No.
So there was this, are we going east or are we going west? And they didn't seem to know. However, right now the product is at least interesting. Steered by a guy who I've got a lot of respect for, and Valverde, I think, aside from his football coaching credentials, is a good, astute, balanced man. And man management in a squad of superstars who are battle scarred and who have every battle medal. Yeah. Every battle.
Absolutely.
How you manage them and what you get from them is a very big deal.
I think, as opposed to Luis Enrique, what I feel is that con Valverde ha vuelto la calma. With Valverde, the calmness has returned. Do you think that manifests?
I think it's feasible. I think if we sit here today, because from Barcelona's point of view things are looking healthy, we say, yeah, for sure, then I would want to take a pause, and I would say that the Barca squad, as in any elite squad, has tough characters, hard-nosed characters who will express when they're not happy. And Leo Messi, if a foul is not given in training, when he genuinely believes it's a foul, will lose his temper. The same. So the calma is restored to the extent that Valverde and Lucho are very different people.
Yes.
Luis Enrique is a very direct, can be very brusque guy I mean, that's genuine. That's him as a trainee, as a footballer, as a trainee coach, all the way. It's the real Luis Enrique.
Yes.
And Valverde is different. I buy your argument to that extent. Doesn't mean that there will be calm throughout the season at Football Club Barcelona, for sure. No. All I would say is that Valverde, in his one-on-one relationships, in terms of where he's willing to give and take, that's one of the most subtle things in sports management, because you will be condemned by players, by people like us, for a little bit of give. Where a month later you give something very similar and you'll be praised as a genius, because what most of us see who are not allowed access to the training ground is we judge on the effect rather than the rationale. And Valverde has room to give and take in a way which I think will probably help this situation at the moment. When a trophy is won or lost, not in May and June, trophies are won and lost in March, April, I believe, when either you're mentally and physically secure, whether it's Juventus, whether it's Manchester City, whether it's Madrid, or whether it's Barcelona. And this will be the big thing that, to conclude, nobody ever has done with Leo Messi what Zidane managed to do with Ronaldo last season, because Messi didn't need to rest much under Guardiola because he was his physical and mental peak. There have been adventures with resting Leo Messi, which, for example, with Lucho went spectacularly wrong at the Anoeta, and
of course.
Neymar was laughing behind his hand as things went wrong on the pitch. Very grown up Neymar, well done. So that lies ahead, and you said there's calm now. Okay, Valverde, with Messi playing like this with a World Cup to come, and he's 30, and he's still carrying a lot of the team. When he says, oye, and says to Leo, listen, this weekend you rest. Let's come back and talk about that when it happens and see whether he pulls it off.
Do you think in that sense, I mean, that conversation took place between Zizou and Ronaldo last year? Ronaldo was very mature and accepted the fact that he had to rest?
Well, hold on. It looks that way through the retrovisor. Do you remember the game at Las Palmas? He substituted at Las Palmas. He's unhappy. He throws some things around in the dugout. He stomps. It looks like they're going to drop points. There's a late equaliser for Las Palmas. Ronaldo is unhappy. Now, it was a mature process in that A, it worked. B, Ronaldo bought into it. And then going back towards that Las Palmas day, he and Zidane buried the hatchet really, really quickly. So fine. But was it like, I'm careful, because I praise Zidane a lot, and I try to be careful. I hope it seems this way, that because things have gone well, you can't say it was an act of genius. It was an act of negotiation, because when Ronaldo was pissed, the rest of the club held its breath on the training ground to go, well, how's this going to go?
Yeah.
Zidane was still relatively new. Yes, he'd won the Champions League. Yes, it was Zidane. But Zidane, in his own build-up to being a coach, said, listen, my name, the Zidane brand, will carry me through about 10 days. And if I don't cut it, the players will chop me up. And that was the pivotal moment when Ronaldo and he sorted it out. As soon as Ronaldo scored in his next game, he runs to look for the coach. So it looked like a mature thing. It looked like seamless, but it had a blip. And all I'm saying is, when you got a proud guy who can't see that resting is for the benefit, and who can't see 6 months because he can just see the next 6 days, which is maybe what winning machines are made of. It's a negotiation that hasn't been brokered over there yet, as it was brokered in Madrid, and that will be fundamental for this season.
Interesting. And just to get back to the what we're in now in la quinta jornada, right? Week 5, Barça's up by 7 points. I mean, nobody really predicted this though by the 5th week. Is there a way that we can explain this?
Yeah, there's two really clear ways. If you want to have them in box A, box B, and let's not do the rest of the alphabet, then fine. One, there's very little wrong with Real Madrid except for a minute relaxation, and I mean minute, because anybody who's confused about the gap, go look at the Riazor, go look at the Real Sociedad game. They were as quick, as powerful, as clever, as ruthless as at any stage over the last 2 seasons, since the January mid-season when Zizou took over. The key thing in box A is they're missing chances. They've missed at home. They should have beaten Valencia by a 2 or 3 goal margin, even though Valencia scored twice, maybe get a third. There was a 3-goal margin, I'd argue. Benzema doesn't have one of the strangest nights of his career in that 2-2 draw. Against Levante, maybe they deserve to sneak a win, but they have a sleepy game. They had sleepy games last season. Who did they draw with? Eibar. They drew with Eibar. Barça would beat by Alaves. The Levante game fits within okay, it's not great, but it's post-FIFA and it's midday on a Sunday. We kind of maybe saw that might happen.
Yeah.
But then finally, you know, in this game the extraordinary game against Betis, where Betis are clever, they're structured, but they play with 9 men because Teo, walking football is an invention, right? But it's meant for your 60s. Budavaz, when he comes on, not only shows his lack of fitness because he's been out injured, his match sharpness. He repeats the mistake of giving the ball away. And you know, Adan for Betis pulls off one world-class save and one save which is in my top 5 saves of all time from Bale.
That was
more than that. Ronaldo misses too many chances, even for a guy coming back from suspension. Betis scored once, could have scored 2, 3, but again, Madrid should have won by a 3-goal margin.
In a normal afternoon.
They did. And these are details like that. They're wafer thin. Box A. Box B, Messi. Box B, Messi. 12 goals in all competitions. Hit the woodwork 6 times. Assists. But more than that, I go back to the Alaves game. I made this point before, but I think it's pertinent, so I'll make it again. They've won up in Vitoria. It's 2-0 in the 91st minute, and he chases 50 metres to get a ball. Chases 50 metres. Messi hasn't been required to chase 5 metres for several years. He does the same in the 21st minute against Espanyol, where Baptista has robbed Busquets, and Busquets is about to pull him back and take a booking. But before he does that, Messi's on it and is chasing already. So what I mean by that is it isn't simply goals, assists, hitting the woodwork. Every day Messi is on it, clicked, switched, pumping, and everybody else goes, if he's doing it, we're doing it. We're into this. It's contagious in a good way, and therefore box A, Madrid not scoring as they should. Box B, Messi.
It seems like, I mean, you have Messi. It doesn't really matter who you put him next to, whether it's Luis Suarez, Neymar, Denis Suarez, and Deulofeu, Messi will continue to be Messi regardless. In particular this season, where he just seems to have that motivation again.
Maybe.
Esa garra that you mentioned.
Maybe. I don't know that's true, and I think if we could prove that, we could say Jorge Sampaoli.
Mm-hmm.
Diego Disport has the remedy of how to win the World Cup.
Yeah, true.
Because
that
it's not like that for the Alaves Celeste.
No.
It wasn't like that with David Villa, in that they played maybe the greatest Champions League final of all. I say maybe because, irrespective of the row in the Juventus dressing room at halftime in Cardiff, that Madrid performance in the second half is extraordinary.
Yeah, absolutely.
And thrilling.
Yeah.
We can say Liverpool in Istanbul, we can say Manchester United here, and we can all talk about it. It's not a big... But in terms of the football industry, whenever I've talked to people about that Wembley performance in 11, they gush. They say, that was football like we... Oh wait, he was playing with David Villa, who scored that day, Leo scored that day, but did they get on and understand it, and did it lead to broncas on the pitch, which he's not having with Neymar, which he's not having with Suarez, which he's not having even with Dennis or Deulofeu. But right now everybody's playing for him, and I think if everybody is playing for him and with him, not just slavishly giving him the ball, but understanding movement, timing, when to choose to go left, when to choose to go right, when this is happening, he's pulling the strings, because he's become the football, not the football superstar, like I'm the big boy, give me the ball all the time, give me the ball, I said give me. It's like his brain, Guardiola always talks about, like, apart from the ability, the football brain is brilliant. And he has people around him right now who are like, well, we know what you want and we'll do what you want, not because we're going like you're the big guy. It's like it's now there's, compared to last season, in my opinion at least, it feels like an 11-man game. Yeah. Not the rest of the guys playing for the front three. It is my opinion.
Yeah.
And that's what, this is what I believe is clicking.
Very interesting. So, I know that I don't want to keep Graham too long. He has other business to attend to, podcasts, etc. So I wanted to just get this last question in, which is not entirely football related, but because I get so many questions from you guys, international culés from all around the world, asking me about the state of Catalonia today. I want to ask Graham his opinion on this, because yesterday marked a very important, very big day in Catalonia in Spain, where arrests were made by the Guardia Civil of high political people, politicians in high positions. I think it was the total 14 or 16 people were under arrest, so not imprisoned as some people say, but they were arrested. And Barça, Football Club Barcelona, made an official statement about this, basically saying that Football Club Barcelona will always defend the democracy and the libertad de expresión, so freedom of expression, etc. Now, you guys know my political views on this, and I'm not here to talk about my political views, which are opposite of what apparently, or we don't know yet, but perhaps a majority of Catalans think in terms of independence. But what I want to ask is, why does Football Club Barcelona as an institution feel the need to make to communicate a statement like this when you see clubs like Espanyol, Girona, Lleida, they don't get involved politically? Why is it that Barça feels this need to come out openly and make political statements like this?
Well, the first thing that's important to point out is that I can't speak for them. And you know that in many aspects I'm not a believer in this current board. I'm critical of them, and therefore still less would I speak for them. I think that over the years I've lived here, and the growth of the independence movement, Diego, the growth of the argument, the growth of the articulacy of the argument, my own view is that Barcelona have treaded an intelligent middle path. They've stressed that whenever you see a prominent figure from the club on a march or speaking out, that they're doing it on a personal basis, which I believe they still have the right to do. If they are elected as part of the Barcelona, if they're signed by Barcelona, I believe in freedom of expression to that extent, that as long as they are clear that they're doing so on a personal basis. Just because you hold a football office does not mean that you're disbarred from expressing social or political views with care, with the acceptance that there's a burden of responsibility when you speak, because free speech is not free. It comes with a burden of responsibility about what you say and when, how you say it. Aside, they chose their phrasing very carefully. They talked about democratic rights, they talked about liberty to express, they talked about peaceful and civil, and to some extent these phrases represent my point of view that I don't know the Spanish constitution intimately enough to understand whether or not it's illegal to have a vote that is non-binding.
Exactly.
If it is illegal to have a vote that's not binding, then the Constitution is a piece of shit. If the Constitution says it's illegal, illegal actions, no matter, in my view, broadly, no matter how much many people want them to happen, my view of civil society is that process must remove the barrier that says something you want to do that seems reasonable is actually indoctrined as illegal, even if it was indoctrined by Franco's regime, which was a regime that, from my view, was appalling. But
of course, the dictatorship.
I won't. It's not my place. It's not your question to come out and declare for or against Catalan independence.
No,
but broadly, the right to express your wish, the right to express your opinion in public and to combine with other people to do it, if it's civil, if it's not law-breaking, is a fundament of society. If even the ability to register your vote on something that's non-binding just to show, to make it almost like a census, if that too is illegal, then it's the Constitution that it's fault. But before this escalates into anything that becomes violent or with arrests of people who seem to be only acting democratically, then my point of view, were it my case that I was fighting, would be to build a process which changes the Constitution first and then push through the move, is my stance.
And I guess also what I was trying to get at is, do you understand why perhaps culés internationally or nationally, meaning outside of Catalonia but living within Spain, feel I don't know if ousted is the right word, or basically separated from what the cause of Football Club Barcelona is, when they make, I mean, quite a clear backing towards being in favor of independence, whether it is as an institution or individually, as some of the board of directors have come out and voiced their personal opinions.
I hear you. I hear you. I can only speak for myself. It read to me, the statement, it read to me as a defense of
more
freedom
of expression.
It's how it read to me.
In
political terms, I accept that people might argue if you only read a text on one dimension, then you're being naive. Okay. So fine. That's more of a political argument than I want to get into. But I read it personally as reasonably judged, non-inflammatory. We generally back the right of people to express themselves.
Right.
As far as it went, if other people that support that club, it's not my club, feel that the club has done something wrong. One of the great things about Barcelona is allegedly is a democracy. There's a motion of censure going on at the moment. If culés who are members feel the way you described, let them seek out Benedetti and vote for his motion. That to me is also democracy. So if people feel like that, I think there's a remedy. Therefore, I'm not particularly perturbed.
Interesting. Okay. Good stuff, guys.
My answer.
There it is. The great Graham Hunter. Well, listen, Graham, I'm going to end the broadcast here. I'm not going to be able to get to you guys' questions because Graham has to go, but I'll be able to answer them later when this video is uploaded. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Graham, for taking the time and being so generous with you to appear on D-Spot. This is a milestone for this little channel. And absolutely it is.
Let's call it a meter stone rather than a milestone. It's only so. It's been a privilege, and we'll do it again.
Great stuff. All right, well, thank you guys for tuning in, and of course, stay tuned to D-Spot, the only YouTube channel getting you closer to the Barça action than any YouTube channel out there. That's guaranteed, guys.
Adiós.
Hasta la próxima.